Good everyone. I hope you guys have an amazing day. So today what I'm going to do, I will talk about the Service Cloud agent productivity. So if you're an agent, right, who works in the Service Cloud space, there are certain times where you get overwhelmed with different cases that's coming through, and sometimes what might happen is that okay, say customer calls you and say, hey, I have an issue with the solar panel installation. So you go and create a case and then you forget about it, right? And the customer calls back again after say 20 days or a month, and then the same customer say, hey, I think I still got some issues around that. So instead of looking at an old record, right, you might end up in creating a new case. So it could happen, right, if you're dealing with, let's say, 500 cases a day. So you might get overwhelmed, and things will not work the way you want, right? And so sometimes, you might also complain as an agent, right? I have to do a lot of, copy paste from here, copy paste from there. So it's kind of overwhelming. So it defeats the whole purpose, right? And also, say, for instance, some of them might say, hey, I got a few issues which I wanted to change the status, say close to new. But it's kind of very annoying to go to each and every record to change it. I would love to have something which I can change it in a single click. So if you keep that all into consideration, right? Service Cloud has a lot of options, a lot of productive tools, which actually helps the agent, do this things in a very efficient way. The first thing, which I'm going to demonstrate today, that's the quick text, right? Which is very simple. Concept, but it's like a predefined message, like the list of predefined message. It's like you're gonna have a greetings or a phrase or something, right? So instead of retyping it every single time, you just can configure it once and select it whenever you wanted to, right? So that's the one thing. Then another thing is you have something called macros. Macros, like it's a kind of instructions. It's like a repetitive instructions, like for instance, sending an email to a customer and or updating the case status, right? You can use the macros to perform this action, right, in a single click. So we're gonna look at the macros in the next episode because you know there are reversible macros, irreversible macros, built-in macros, right? So different kinds of macros we're gonna talk about. So in today's episode, it's just only about the quick text and how to update multiple records in a single time. So sounds nice and easy, right? There are a few other things like we can talk about, like for instance, history utility. It's pretty much it's a very handy option in my personal opinion because it lets users see their recent visited records. So that's one of the handy ways. Um, then you have email templates, right? Sometimes if you wanted to send out an email, right, instead of creating a new template every time, you can have one template ready and just use the similar template for similar kind of scenarios. Then you can also have an option to send the email notification, which is pretty handy. So, for instance, if someone added a comment or update to your case, right? So obviously, you would expect that you, being the owner of the case, should get notified. So we have such kind of options in place, which pretty much helps you do the job, right? So that's in a nutshell the theory about the service console productivity. So let's look at the quick test, right? So normally what happens, right? Quick text is pretty simple. Okay. So if from Spring 18 onwards, all the user profiles, pretty much have read access to the quick text object by default. Okay. So if you wanted to have the rewrite, right? So you probably might have to create a permission set, which is pretty simple to create. So, right, so that's, I hope you know how to create permissions. All right. Excuse me. I'm going to show you anyway. So if you go to log into your org, right, go to your setup, which is by going to the gecko icon, setup, right, and permission set, right, and so use a permission set, and so you just create a new permission set, and then just say quick text permission. So just choose the Salesforce, right? It's always good to add a description because it will let another person, you know, who will be looking at this permission set in the future to see, to make out what exactly you're trying to do, right? Even if you are trying to revisit the permission set after 6 months, it will make it easier for you to understand the real purpose of having the permission set in the first place, right? So my description is kind of clunky, but I'm just saying it's good practice to have a description in place, right? Now go to object settings, right? And under object settings, look for quick text. It's just gonna take some time. I don't know why. Sometimes org is slower. So I'm just gonna do quick. Yeah, just gonna wait. Okay. Just go for a quick text. So usually we're gonna enable the CRUD operation, right? Read, create, update. So we're just gonna do edit, yeah, and yada yada. It takes surprisingly, for some reason, I don't know what's going on. The org has been slower since morning. All right, so I think it's. I mean, I already have the read write access to it because I'm using sysadmin permissions, but for some reason it just died on me. Okay, so let me while it loads, right? Let me open the quick text in a new window. So just to show you the concept, how it looks like. Let's say, for the sake of an argument, you have enabled this, right? The permission set. Oh, it's pretty silly, right? There's some permission sets. It's just wow, annoying. Right. Okay. So if I do, so you do enable, read, enable, right? So you do this. Okay. That's pretty much, and we're just gonna make this one. Yeah, and just make this one as well. Okay. And it's gonna do save. Right, so it's gonna save. So you get the point, right? I mean, so you create a permission set, assign the rewrite. I mean, if you should only assign the create option to those user who you want to create quick text, right? It's not a great option to give create access to every single one, right? So you have to use that option based on your business scenario, right? Not every user will have CRUD access, right? Create or edit access to it, or even delete. So keep that into consideration before you do any such things. So I'm just going to assign a permission set to a user, whatever user it is, right? I just assign to myself, even though I have sysadmin. So okay, so done. So that's fantastic. So like I said, so you can go to this tic-tac-toe icon, look for the quick text. Sorry, right? And so come here, and you can create a new folder where the quick text will hold, or you can go to the new here. So it's like just to make your task easier. Say, for instance, I can say the case greetings, right? So you can say contact. You can say case origin. All right. So no case origin. Sorry, case ID. So just insert, right? Dear, right, customer, uh, please, um, has been, whatever, just type whatever you want. Just please find attached your case number. Okay, so and then it's just call it as a greeting. So just keep it in the email. So just keep on safe, right? Nothing fancy, right? It's pretty simple. Now, what I'll do, I'll just go to um, the case, right? So I'll just go to the case, And so I'll show you how to make use of the quick text. Obviously, by having a quick text is not enough, right? I mean, if you do not know how to use it. So for instance, I wanted to send an email to the specific customer, right? Who opened this case. So I'll just go to email, right? And then what happens is, oh, wow, it's just gonna take time. JavaScript to avoid. That's pretty interesting. I'm not sure what's happening right today. If you've noticed, right, org is a bit slower. I mean, I've noticed in different org as well, not just on my home computer. Because even at work, I've noticed that it's kind of terribly slower. Sorry. Uh, okay. Now I wanted to log it. Sorry, not log a call. I wanted to email, right? So to Barbara Levy, right? So now I don't want it to, type in, the email. I don't want it to type in the same message. Hey, please find attach your case number. It's just annoying every single time, right? I mean, it's kind of kills the productivity. So that's the reason why we created the quick text. Now, how do we make use of quick text? That's one of the things. So you see this icon here, this beautiful looking. So insert quick text, right? So if you click on that, so I will just say, okay, I wanted to insert it. And so I'll do that and just send it. See, this is a case number, right? So you can do that. So I'll just give you one example, right? So I mean, maybe you will have a different business case scenario, but this is how you can make use of the functionality. So I'm just showcasing what exactly you can do with the quick text. There are a lot more things you can do. You can send the greetings, you can send the question and answer, different things you can configure it, right, based on your business needs. But this feature is very handy in my opinion. It actually simplifies your agent's life uh, in an efficient way. The reason why I'm saying is that because imagine you have to retype the same message again and again, again and again, right? Some agent might even store this in Excel document. They have a copy paste, right? Instead, all they have to do is just select it and pick the right option, right? It saves the job. Okay, that's pretty cool, right? I hope you like the quick text part of things, which is pretty simple, in my opinion. So that's now let's go to the so now one more thing I just wanted to show you along with the quick text, right? That's all great. So if you go to the quick text settings, right? I will highly encourage you to share and organize quick text in the folders. I will encourage you to tick this one. So if you don't tick it, then what happens? I'll show you. I'll save it. And if you go to the quick text, okay, just gonna um, so see, if you remember that the folder option has disappeared here, right? Um, so if I just say, you know, new quick text, if I go here, it will, that the folder option is completely gone. So if you're wondering what the heck I'm talking about, right? So remember this screen for a second, okay? Now let's go back. Let's go back. Let's go back. Okay. And I will enable that folder option and I'll show you what I mean by that. Okay. And I will do quick text. Right. All right. Now I will take this. Sometimes what might happen, right? You might see, oh, I can't see any quick text. So that's because you haven't enabled the quick text. That could be one of the reasons, right? Mine is by default enabled. So if you don't see, like for instance, if you don't see quick text, if you do the app launcher, just enable it, right? So now I'll take this option here. Okay. Now I refresh the page. and then we'll go back to the quick text to see what's happening, right? Um, you see, you can see the new folder here, right? The look and feel changed. So this is exactly what I was talking about. So yeah, okay. Now another scenario, right? I wanted to talk about. So let's go to the case, right? Now, if I wanted to say update, say all of this new, right? Say I wanted to update from 1 to 6 to closed. Uh, you know, you can do that manually, which is one option. But if you have thousands to update, or say not thousands, say 50 to update, right? It's kind of become a nightmare for an agent, right? It's just a waste of their time, pretty much, right? So what if I tell you I have an option where you can select 1, 2, 3 and push a button, it will update the case for you, right? Let me show you what I mean by that. So I'll click here, click here. I wanted to change this to say closed, right? So I'll click this one, click this one, click this one, click this one. So I have this. Okay, let me go to the all open case, right? So that will be the best way. Let's do it. So I wanted to do this one. I wanted to do this. I wanted to do this. I wanted to do this. 5 cases I wanted to do in a single click. I wanted to mark this 5 cases to closed. So I have this update value button. So I'll go here and I'll just mark it as closed. And I'll say save. Yeah, update records. That's pretty cool. Now that's pretty fantastic, right? Now that's very, very simple to do that. I mean, it's not a big deal. So how do you do that? It's pretty simple. Just go to the case object and just go to the setup. Okay, and we specifically pick up the case object, and under case, I should have go to the edit object, but that's fine. Just go to the case, and under case, what do you do? Normally go to buttons, links, and actions, and you create a new action, right? When you create a new action, you just do update a record, right? And then put a label. And once you do that, right, save it. Then you just go back and then go to this Salesforce, sorry, search layout for Salesforce Classic, and then edit this option, the first one, the list view. And when you do that, right, on the left hand side bottom, I will ask you to pick up that action. So in my case, I've updated value. So whatever steps I mentioned, I pretty much did that before. So this is the action I've created. So I moved to the right hand side and saved. And that's the reason why you can see it here, right? So this is pretty handy option, right? A lot of things you can do in Service Cloud, right, which will make your agent life much easier. And I believe that this is a pretty amazing option, right? If you're running on a Service Cloud for your contact center, then I would highly encourage you to check these options if you're not using it. If you're already using it, then it's fantastic, right? Because then you know the power of these productive tools. So that's pretty much I wanted to talk about in this episode. In the next episode, we're going to look at the macros, right? Which is pretty fantastic topic and very interesting at the same time. So thank you very much for tuning in today. I hope you guys have an amazing Monday. Cheers.